I'm turning on to these minor roads, thank goodness, head towards my first church. I'm now down in the Avon Valley, the Wiltshire Avon Valley. So when I left Hillmarton, I went back towards Lynham for about half a mile, then turned left. So basically cut over some hills and dropped down into this really nice quiet flatland. Somewhere along here we get to a right hand turn 90 degrees. If you can imagine a geometric right angle with that quarter of a circle symbol, that's pretty much what we're doing. That's if we can get through this private ground. That's where I'm hoping we get to. If not, we just have to do the 90-degree straight bend rather than the curve to avoid it. Okay, I'm about to leave this B road. You can hear just over the other side of that hill the M4 motorway, London to Bristol in South Wales. Can't see it, but you can definitely hear it. Along here, there's a junction, a right-hand turn, which would take us up over that, which is the direction we're headed. But before we get there, you may see what's about to happen. We're going to take a turn through that private estate somewhere through there. And that's where the church is. Whether I can get access to it or not remains to be seen. It's supposed to be at 7.5 miles. You can see we're 7.2. So homing in on it. So this is our turning. Can we get through? As you can see, if we can't, there's a B road up there. So it looks unlocked here, and it says pedestrian access only to St James Church, Draycot Cerne. Please use Wicket Gate. Not sure what that means, but we'll find out. That lady's just opened it with a code. I got through. I think the Wicket Gate means the pedestrian swing gate. This is nice, isn't it? This is another of those roads I've ridden many times. In fact, when I was a time trialist, I used to race along that B road back there. And when I was plotting the route, I just couldn't picture this where it was. I recognised the name, and of course I've never been to here before. I'm just hoping the church itself is open. Oh, this is nice, isn't it? Let's see along there. Swan. Oh, another swan. Young cygnet by the look of it. Oh, it's beautiful. You can just hear the roar of the motorway. It's not that far away. Oh, this is delightful, isn't it? There's the swan. I'm just looking out for where the church is. Oh, look at the milk trees there. This is why I'm so thankful for the Garmin. This really feels like I'm trespassing. But the lady said I'm not, and that sign back there clearly says I'm not. Oh, this is so nice. On my doorstep. It really is. I had no idea this was here. Some of these small estate churches can be really tucked away behind farm buildings. There's a couple that are very easy to miss. So I'm very aware that I don't want to shoot through here too quick and miss it. Fess up time, I overshot the church. There it is to my left. I was so concentrated on following the Garmin track to make sure I didn't go into people's properties. I missed this. I got to the top gate and I've had to retrace. And it says, pass over the bridge, rising grassland, and the south porch will be on your left hand side. And look, there it is. Some kind of dugout there. Right, leave my bike and see if I can get in. Oh gosh, look at that wild garlic there. And the porch is actually here, St James Draycot Cerne. So I rode right by it without spotting it. As I said, I was probably busy looking at the swans and following the GPS track. I've literally ridden by it twice and didn't spot it. Unfortunately, I cannot get in. I do need the key holder to give me access. Tells you there the number, and also on the website it's locked. I'm definitely going to come here on another day. I can do this easily on a fairly shortest road from Bath. I'll ring up and arrange a time for when I can get access. I just didn't want to wait till 11 AM this morning. It would just put too much pressure on me later in the day. So as you cross that bridge, there's a sharp bend. Here it is through this gap in the trees. Ever so easy to miss. I know that because I missed it. Gosh, absolutely beautiful. Noise you can hear as a guy with the strimmer there doing the lawns. Look at that beast of a tree. That looks like some sort of primeval monster. Wow, what an amazing place. So I do need to go back round this way. You can't really access it that way because of all that wild garlic. I'm not treading through wildflowers. Okay, so back that way, back up through the farm arch, and then there's a slight rise up and you're back on the road that I want actually. Back through the farm arch, up past Draycot House, over the cattle grid. Bum, 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 bum. And there's the road we want up there. We're going to join it at 90 degrees. Wow, this is absolutely fantastic. Just as we leave, the post is coming in. The gatehouse. And we are turning right on this. After we left the parkland, after about a mile, you come up past the A road and the motorway intersection north of Chippenham. I didn't really film it because it was all industrial estates. It's quite built up, but it's all traffic lighted and laned, and so I was able to safely navigate that. Takes me on this A429 road heading north, and I've instantly turned off left. Now we're running parallel to the M4 as we did earlier, but now instead of being over that way on the south of it, we're on the north of it, heading towards the village of Leigh Delamere. Okay, I'm coming up to a bit of a dog leg. I've just zoomed the route out so I can actually get an overview of what I'm doing. So I'm coming up to a junction here. I'll be turning left, doing the dog leg up there to Leigh Delamere. And then I'll be coming back, changing direction, heading eastwards. Whenever I head north, it's a very cold wind. Most of this afternoon we'll be heading east, southeast and south. Through this lovely bluebell wood, hear all this bird song on a fairly quiet road. There's the sign, Leigh Delamere, down there. So, homing in on it. So I'm going to do a right hand bend here, and then it's just a long quarter of a mile or so. Leigh Delamere, please drive carefully. As I remember it from the planning, the church is on the right hand side. I street viewed this one. And there it is. Got quite a big lich gate by the look of it. As I understand that was a shelter for when they brought the deceased. They would leave the coffins here before they were ready to go into church. Okay, I've left my bike under the lich gate. This thing's charging. So just reading up, it says Church of St Margaret of Antioch, I think that's how you pronounce it, Leigh Delamere, Wiltshire. And the overview is a dramatic Victorian confection. I'm going to read more when I get inside because I'm struggling to read that in the glare. Okay, let's go and have a look. lovely wooden structure in the porch, that lovely ecclesiastical door. This church is open, please come in, but please close both doors when you leave to keep the birds out. Oh, where's the second door? Looks like they may want to bring the door across there. Quite dark. I'll see if I can find some lights. So there may not be any unless it's in the main body of the church. Look at that font there. And lovely stained glass windows in here. Look at that. And here they're doing is a pigeon. I'll take it. Oh my word, look at that stained glass at the back. Wow, that crucifixion, isn't it? I've gone over to my phone for this bit of filming. It deals with less light, better. That is absolutely stunning. It's worth coming to this church just to see that crucifixion. Wow. Let's go back up into the chancel. Just the one window casting light in. You've got the south windows, north. That's the main east window. The stained glasses here are absolutely amazing. It's worth coming to this church just to see that. That is absolutely spectacular. Oh, meant to say last night, I forgot. I was having a really nice chat with Elaine, and she said to me, you know, you're welcome to come up the bell tower, and, you know, they may ask you to help wind the clock. They do that before starting the bell ring. I'm not quite sure why, but I couldn't really go up because I was in socks. But she said, I don't suppose you play the organ, do you? And I said, no, afraid not. She said, oh, we've got an organ. We would just love someone to come along. But, you know, the only organ players are gradually dying off, and we haven't got any left in the village. So I'd have loved to have accommodated her. So if you're an organ player, you fancy Knights Champion, they would really, really welcome you at Hill Martin. Gosh, look at that. It's worth reading a bit here. It is quite interesting. It says James Thompson built this church in 1846, built using parts of its 12th century predecessor, such as the splendid bell cote, which can now be seen at Sevington School 1 mile to the west. The rest is impressively dramatic. The Gothic gloom of the chancel with its extravagant reredos, carved and decorated in many colours, contrasts with the tremendous colours of the Great West Window by Wilmhurst. Yeah, that sums it up perfectly, the Great West Window. And this was very Gothic. I'm guessing that's a reredos. I'm not sure what it means. I'll have to look it up. As usual, just before I leave, sign the visitor's book. So the last person for me was the 18th of the 4th. The day's the 23rd. I put Andy C. Bath Sunset in brackets, exploring all Wiltshire CCT churches by bicycle. Winchester, Birmingham, Chippenham, Cairn, Australia, Leigh Delamere, first visit this year, so a local. Gives your taste. Oh yes, it says about the bell tower can be seen by Sevington School a mile away that way. You can see why. So this is the penultimate church, St Margaret of Antioch. And now we're going to do a direction change. Most of the day we're going to be heading that way eastwards towards Swindon. And the very last church of this trip, St John the Baptist at Inglesham, at 44.5 miles. It's going to be over 45 because I did that zigzag through the estate when I passed the church by mistake. heading east on the Wiltshire Cycleway. As long as I'm heading east, I'm quite warm and the wind's beneficial. The minute I just turn briefly north, it's cold and it's quite hard work. I love unusual place names. Gorsey Lees. I've been seeing these protest banners all morning. I can't claim to know what the issue is, but something to do which threatens the way of local life. I'm in the small hamlet of Foxley. I've just been in that church over there, it's wonderful. 12:30. I suppose the next shop I see, I'll pick myself a sandwich. It's about 5 to 1 and I'm in the middle of Malmesbury. In fact, I'm in the market square. And this has come just at the right time. There's a shop just opposite. I've used it many times before. Got myself a sandwich, a soft drink. Being circular or octagonal, I can just find exactly where it's least windy. So this is a nice wind shelter. This is exactly what I was looking for yesterday, something like this. I even had sandwiches with me. I just could not find anywhere warm and at the wind to sit. And then consequently, I got quite hungry by mid-afternoon. I roughly know where I am, but I'm trying not to think too much about it, because I just like the buzz of the adventure and just being on unfamiliar roads with a different purpose. But I've definitely come past a landmark I recognise. There's this big lake. When I used to ride the Heart of England 300-kilometre Audax from Cirencester, I'd ride up on the Friday afternoon, like sleep in the church hall overnight, then start, and then at the finish I'd ride back home on the Sunday, and you know, the out and back route would come by here. So I know where I am. I'm basically 5 or 6 miles south of Cirencester. A bit about leaving the church this morning. When Elaine had showed me around yesterday, there wasn't too much detail, you know, wasn't a big health and safety briefing, anything like that. She just told me where the lights were and what I needed to know. And she did just run through the security procedures that, you know, she asked me to perform before I left. I won't go into detail, and then she just asked me a rough time she thought I'd be leaving. I said between 9 and 10. As it turned out, it was bang on 9 a.m. And she just said, would you just text me when you go, just to let me know, and then I'll pop round and, you know, do what I need to do. And so I did. 15-20 minutes later, got a really nice text saying, oh, I hope you're warm enough last night, thank you very much, hope you enjoyed your stay. Just such a lovely after the visit, you know, it's just such a personal touch. I've just put my head down after lunch. I'm making fairly good progress on this straight road, but look where I am, Leigh Crossroads. You know that expression, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. I'm actually crossing the T because I came up this way yesterday, up to Leigh, backtracked back and then headed that way to the Champion Church at Hillmartin. I did consider popping into Leigh today because I'm clearly going very, very close to it. If I had gone to Leigh now today, it would have made today well over 60 miles and time consuming, and yesterday very short. So I just, that's the reason, although I'm passing Leigh now, I decided to go there yesterday. In fact, talking about the route, I designed the route in 2 halves and then just stitched them together. And I was originally going to leave the Champion Church today and go up to Inglesham first and then spend all afternoon coming back west. And that would have made the day 74 miles. And I just thought, I don't want to wake up in a Champion Church and feel I've got to be on the road really early. And if there's a southwesterly, which there quite often is, I'll be most of the day into the wind. And then I thought, well, I could always hop into Chippenham and get the train home. And that was almost the same distance as going a few miles further to Bath. And I just thought, no. And then I just reversed it. And as I said, the days instantly seemed to sort of like meld quite nicely, actually. You had a 59 and a 56. Just passed through the lovely town of Cricklade, leaving on what was once upon a time the old main road, past all these water meadows. It's since been bypassed, and that's the bypass is part of a big north to south trunk road. I think it's the A419. We got to get over the other side of that, and there's a lovely cut through here. I discovered this when I was doing my DIY Audax series, and there's nowhere to find this without GPS, so I'll try and describe what's happening. We're actually gonna go alongside that main road and it looks like we're riding into oncoming traffic. There's a bit of footway and cycleway, and then there'll be a bridge going over it, and you have to curl around, you have to curl around the bridge, climb up to it, because it's about 20 feet higher than this road, cross this road, and then filter into a road that's going in our direction. I'll try and film this because this is such a great example of how GPS has allowed me to find little cut throughs like this. As I said, it's not just a bypass, it's a major trunk road. There's no way I'd want to cycle on that. See what I mean? It's like right into oncoming traffic. And that's what we're heading for, that bridge up there. That gives you a better idea of the complexity on this Garmin now we're moving. The only thing, it can get a little bit muddy under here sometimes. I'd rather have a muddy bike than trying to ride on that road. Here we go, start the incline up to the road bridge. Very tight bend there, and it brings you out on this road bridge. So there we are, a couple of minutes later, we're up on the bridge, so we've come along there, snaked through there. It can get a bit muddy sometimes, that wasn't too bad at all. I've seen it a lot worse in the middle of the winter. It feels like mid-afternoon, appear to be making good progress. I think now's a good time to do a quick progress check. So I just recognise this, Down Ampney Estate, so I know the village of Down Ampney, so I roughly know where I am. When I'm on unfamiliar ground, I normally bring two Garmins out, so that's the modern one, that's the older one. They're both good at something, but they're both not good at both, if that makes sense. That's good for some things, that's good for other things. So you can see I'm coming up to 36 miles in today. And the church, as I remember, it was 44.5. It's probably going to be 45, so about less than 10 miles to go. And that's telling me the distance to go. I just saw that was 20 miles. And if I stop this quickly, I can do this on the road, but it's easier to do it stopping. Look, 8 minutes past 3. So we should be at the church by about what? By about 4, 10 to 4, something like that. Plenty of chance to look round. I'd imagine Swindon's going to be about 5, bit after. I'm in no rush whatsoever. I'm not a racing cyclist, I'm a touring cyclist. I don't want to get to Swindon too early, because that means I have to spend too long in Wetherspoons. And, you know, nice as the thought of that is, I want a meal and a couple of beers. I don't want a long session testing my liver to destruction. So I may just slow down a little bit, actually. That's why it's quite good to do this. Sometimes you think, oh, I need to speed up, and other times, no, just stop a few times, maybe have a bite of chocolate or something like that. I certainly don't want to rush when I get to the last church, because it'd be quite a milestone. Finishing my project that I started on New Year's Day. For want of a better expression, it's a New Year's resolution that I've seen through. Well, I will when I get to Inglesham Church, the final one. Anyway, let's get going. And we're heading that way. I've just been signposted off that road, sharp right hand turn. It's called Dud Drove along here. It says no through road, but I know you can get through on a bike because I've used this road before. This is lovely riding along here. Look at this, agricultural, traffic free, straight as a ruler as I home in on my final church, Inglesham. Really starting to get excited about getting there now. Along this drove road, I've now been turned off left down this gravel track. You can see it's open for vehicles up to about 7.5 tons. I remember now, I go south of some lakes. The main road would have taken me north of them, and this is south. I've street viewed this because when I saw it was off road, I thought, oh, do I really want that at the end of the day? I had it in my head, this bit of rough stuff was after Inglesham. Clearly it's just before. So we're going south of some lakes, I can actually hear swans and ducks and everything over there, so I'm quite looking forward to this. I'll try and film a bit of this. I can see the water to my left just through those trees. I can hear lots of ducks quacking. Hoping there'll be an opening somewhere where we can get a good view of it. So far not too bad. It's going to be a bit muddy in places. I've got a rag to clean my bike down, just as I cleaned it down before the church last night. I want to clean it down before I get on the train tonight. Oh, is this a viewpoint I can stop at? If I'd carried on up that road before I turned down the Drove road, I'd have been the other side of the lake. So if this was too muddy, I knew there was an alternative. But this is really nice. Because this is used for lake access, there's a private access back there to the lake. You can see they've put a lot of medium-sized aggregate down. It's actually quite hard to ride on. Wow, look at that, bike racks there, bird hide, access to the lake, and then back on. It's not muddy, but I'd rather ride on that than the gravel. That was actually quite hard work going along there. 42.5 miles, so 2.5 miles to the church. Funny, isn't it, how quickly, yeah, rode up to someone's house. Look, back on tarmac. I really enjoyed that. That was nice. And all of a sudden, it just feels like you're coming into a Cotswold village. Look, Burford, Stowe, I know it says Swindon, Church Tower there. It just feels very Cotswoldy. So I just got us to come up the pavement there because I could see us coming over a bridge. I thought, want to have a look at the view. How nice is that? We're on 43.87, come up to 44 miles. So within about a mile, mile and a half, 2 miles maximum, we're going to be there, Inglesham. I saw that sign coming up from the distance, thought, great, here we are, Inglesham. And it's not, it's the boundary sign for Swindon. As you come up to the rise, I noticed my Garmin's pointing me down a dog leg. And there it is, Inglesham. Church is down there. You get a burst of traffic every now and again because the traffic lights on that bridge. Down there. The final run in to the final church of the Wiltshire Churches Conservation Trust collection of 21. An 11th century church. Looks like the door's been kicked in and padlocked. Hope there's access. Okay, let's go inside if we can. Looks like the remains of an old preaching cross in the yard. Is that our entrance? Looks kind of sort of vandalised, doesn't it? Looks like there was something in there, a statuette maybe of St John. This door is unlike any door I've seen to a church before. Oh, it goes in. Down a step into the porch. Oh, this is a bit more like it. St John the Baptist, Inglesham. And then a more traditional door. I think I'm just going to leave that open until I get inside. Can we? Can't we? Yes. Hat off. Wow, this does feel old, very old. Electric lights, cannot see any switches yet. I'm not sure if I want them, to be honest. All these box pews. Visitors table there. Oh, chancel, wall paintings. Gosh, this does feel very, very old. Step into the chancel. That would have been the equivalent of a stained glass window in its day, wall painting. The sound is I can hear the wind blowing through the roof and over that way, just the roar of traffic on that road, which I hope I'm not going to be on for much longer, but if I am, I am, hey ho. Stone carving in the wall. Okay, I've got the page up. St John the Baptist, Inglesham, Wiltshire. The overview. An ancient painted wonder. The exquisitely beautiful and fascinating 13th century church stands on a gentle rise of land above waterside meadows near the Thames. Oh, that's right, that was the Thames back there. Only a stone's throw from the Thames Pass, it is a frequent stopping point for walkers. Pioneering Victorian designer William Morris, who lived at nearby Kelmscott, oversaw St John's restoration in the 19th century, ensuring it kept its original medieval identity. So back there they said 11th century, here they're saying 13th century. The amazing series of paintings from the 13th to the 19th century cover the walls, often one painted over another, in places several layers thick. That's quite a high pulpit, isn't it? Sand plate. Those bulbs just don't fit here, do they? So, as usual, visitors book. Somebody was here today, party of two from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Beautiful place of worship. I just got the route up on my app just to give me an idea if I'm going to be on that road very long. I was hoping I'll turn straight onto lanes, but clearly not. Gosh, you can see how far out the boundary of Swindon comes. It was literally just after we crossed the Thames there. So we are here down that dog leg. I am going to be on that road for about 4 miles to Highworth, and then you into the outskirts of Swindon. So I could have gone straight to the railway station, but I've taken these side streets round here to Wetherspoons about there. About 4:30 now, 25 to 5. If I could be eating my meal in Wetherspoons by about 20 past 6, 6:30, I'll be happy. Right, let's go out and face that traffic. All I can hear outside is the roar of that traffic, and it looks like I've got it probably most of the way into Swindon, so I've just got to live with that. I'm going to have a wander around the churchyard first. Old preaching cross by the look of it. Yeah, I wonder why there used to be a youth hostel here. I mean, nowadays it's just basically a suburb of Swindon, really. I guess near the Thames for walkers, possibly. As I said, closed in the 90s, like so many, unfortunately. Well, apart from the noise, it's lovely here. Okay, time to make my way down to Swindon. Change of plan, coming into Swindon, less than 3 miles to go. Starting to get built up, and I thought, you know, I could murder fish and chips. If I see fish and chip shop, I might stop and get some. As soon as I had that thought, I stopped some traffic lights. There was like set back a few shops, and the end one was fish and chips. Fantastic, really friendly girls in there. Sort of said, I don't suppose there's anywhere nearby I could sit down and eat this, a park or something. She said, yeah, over the road, follow the alleyway all the way down to the end, you come this play area. It's even got a bin, so going to tuck into that. It's 6:30 p.m. and I'm at Swindon station, so let me just briefly tell you what happened. When I joined that main road at Inglesham, it was quite unpleasant for a while because you got short stretches of clear traffic, and then you'll get a burst of traffic go by you, and it's because of the traffic lights over the bridge. Luckily, it was not hard work physically, it was easy. It's slightly downhill and had a tailwind, so I just cranked it along there. Then as I came in Swindon, I thought I may just head for the railway station and sit in the waiting room. That quite appeals to me, to be honest. I really don't fancy the pub tonight. My train's left Paddington. Oh, this looks like a nice sun trap. This will do me fine. There you can see my train's doing at 19:22. Gets into Bath 19:46. So it's at 24 minutes. And that's including a stop at Chippenham. It's the London Express, Paddington to Bristol. So. Okay, that's me back in Bath. I actually got on an earlier train that was running late, because my train was running late, and it left around about the same time as my train would have left. Does that make sense? Anyway, it's just gone 8 p.m. I'm back in Bath. Got my lights on ready for about a 10-minute ride home. Once I get out of this road, go alongside the river, it's nearly traffic free all the way back to my house. Hope you've enjoyed coming along. If you got this far, thanks so much for watching. See you soon.